Welcome to Ken's Crib. Here we'll cover part 2 of the Paraneoplastic Syndrome series with our friend Plastic Ken. Plastic Ken is friendly. Don't let that evil grin fool you. This evil grin represents Anti-Epiligrin Cicatricial Pemphigoid, a severe scarring mucocutaneous bullous disease. This condition can impact the eyes, symbolized by Ken wearing red goggles. The red lollipop that Ken is licking indicates that the mouth can also be affected. His torn pants and open zipper highlight the involvement of the genitalia and skin. Ken's pet lamb, with 5 fingers branded on its coat, signifies that the antibodies in this condition target laminin 5, specifically the alpha-3 subunit, indicated by the lamb's 3-shaped tail. Who's looking over this sheep anyway? Check out this shepherd, wearing a lung vest pointing to the association with adenocarcinomas like lung cancer. His intestinal padding symbolizes the additional association with adenocarcinomas of the gastrointestinal tract. Hey, Barbie doll, wanna go for a ride?
Sure, Ken.
This car symbolizes Carcinoid Syndrome. The driver, Ken, has a mild pink sunburn on his head, neck, and upper body. This represents the characteristic flushing with scar-like color and mottled red patches. He's holding up a pill, as this is often referred to as a pellagra like dermatitis. Is that car leaking brown oil? This leak from the car indicates that diarrhea may also be seen in carcinoid syndrome. In the back of the car, this kid blowing a wheezing party streamer symbolizes wheezing, which is another common feature seen in carcinoid syndrome. Let's say you have a patient who fits this picture. How do you test for carcinoid syndrome? Just remember this kid doing a karate kick, shouting "Hi-ya!" This represents elevated 5-HIAA levels in the urine. As a subtle reminder that it's the urine levels of 5-HIAA, he's wearing a yellow belt. All I'm going to say is that belt used to be white. Chuck Norris, more like Yuck Norris. Ooh, and he kicked his mom right in the liver, emphasizing that metastasis to the liver is typically required for midgut tumors to produce carcinoid syndrome. The pen in her right pocket symbolizes that the appendix is the most common location for primary carcinoid tumors, and these rarely metastasize, staying put just like the pen stuck in her pocket. What is it with these violent kids? This other kid kicking his mom in the chest and abdomen represents bronchial and gastric carcinoid tumors that may cause flushing without liver metastases. That's why she doesn't have a liver like the other mom. These are typically associated with right-sided cardiac valvular fibrosis in 60% of cases. Remember this by the broken heart tattoo on her right arm. As an additional reminder that it's the right side of the heart, we place them on the right side of this graphic. Finally, we have Ken holding up one finger to indicate Cryoglobulinemia Type I. Ken's purple gloves and earmuffs highlight the retiform purpura and necrosis on cool acral sites like the hands and ears. In typical Ken fashion, he's looking at his clone in the mirror, denoting that this condition is due to a monoclonal gammopathy, such as multiple myeloma, B-cell lymphoma, or Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Time to review. Ken's evil grin represents Anti-Epiligrin Cicatricial Pemphigoid. The red goggles indicate eye involvement, while the red lollipop signifies mouth involvement. His torn pants and open zipper represent genitalia and skin involvement. The lamb with a 5-finger branding on the fur and a 3-shaped tail indicates that laminin 5 and its alpha-3 subunit are specifically involved in this condition. The shepherd Ken in a lung vest reminds us of the association with lung adenocarcinomas, and the intestinal padding indicates GI tract adenocarcinomas. The car in the driveway represents carcinoid syndrome. Driver Ken's sunburn illustrates the characteristic flushing, with the pill representing a pellagra like dermatitis. The car's brown oil leak indicates that diarrhea may also be present. In the back, the child with a wheezy party streamer represents wheezing, which can also be seen in carcinoid syndrome. And Yuck Norris over there shouting "Hi-ya" indicates elevated 5-HIAA levels in the urine, hence the yellow belt. He's kicking the liver to remind us of the need for liver metastasis in midgut tumors in order to actually produce carcinoid syndrome. A pen in mom's right pocket indicates that appendix carcinoid tumors are the most common and usually don't metastasize, staying put just like that pen in her right pocket. On the right side of the graphic, the child kicking the chest and abdomen represents bronchial and gastric carcinoid tumors. The mom's broken heart tattoo on the right arm signifies right-sided cardiac valvular fibrosis. Finally, Cryo-Ken holding up one finger indicates Cryoglobulinemia Type I. His purple gloves and earmuffs signify the retiform purpura and necrosis that's seen in the distal acral sites and the ears. His clone in the mirror represents an underlying monoclonal gammopathy, which is usually associated with type 1 cryoglobulinemia. That's all for now. We'll see you in the next DermatoGraphix.